Hello everybody, Hyper Mario Sunshine here, and welcome to the Switch 2 predictions, and also the fact that the Direct is tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for everybody who lives out in the West Coast. But yes, I am going to Nintendo NY, and yeah, we're going to be going over the Direct post. As we can see here, join us tomorrow, April 2nd at 6 a.m. PT, for a closer look at the Nintendo Switch 2, the hashtag Nintendo Direct, Nintendo Switch 2, April 2nd, 2025. Live stream will approximately be 60 minutes long. This is basically the same amount of time that the Switch 1 Nintendo Direct was, the link for it. And we can watch it here, but I'm going to be at Nintendo NY watching it. I'm going to be live streaming it on my Twitch channel, so make sure to go check it out. And it will be immediately uploaded on YouTube as quickly as possible. But yeah, we finally are here. Where's my daily Donkey Kong Country Returns HD post? But yeah, we're finally here. It is finally time for the Nintendo Switch 2 to be revealed fully. All of its glory, its specs, all the games that are going to be coming for its launch year. It's going to be quite exciting. And yeah, and as for Nintendo NY, they did repost it along with join us April 2nd at 9 a.m. ET at Nintendo New York for a viewing of the hashtag Nintendo Direct, Nintendo Switch 2, April 2nd, 2025. No Warp Pass required. Entry is on a first come, first serve basis. So yeah, you're going to have to go there as early as possible because I think this one might be jam packed. Now, it was confirmed that the last Direct, the one that showed off Tamagotchi Life and a whole bunch of other games, whether there were remakes like the Raito remake or a new game for, like, for example, Everybody's Golf or New Rhythm Heaven, etc., that one did not have Nintendo NY repost it. Well, they did repost it, they just didn't say for anybody to join them on that day. So yeah, it was very much confirmed, especially by Kirby GCN. But yes, we are going to be having the Direct presentation there at Nintendo NY as well. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of people. I don't know how much people are going to... I'm going to try going as early as I can. Probably waking up around 6 o'clock and hopefully arriving there around 7. Maybe I might wake up a little bit earlier so that way I could catch an earlier bus. But yeah, I don't know how packed it's going to be. I don't know how early people are going to come there. But yeah, I'm going to be really excited for this. As for so any rumors of anything, Nintendo has been counting down to the Switch 2, and Stealth has posted on from Nintendo today that Nintendo has revealed the sound of the C button. So yeah, that's brand new. We don't know what it could mean, but obviously, but I do have a few theories and whatnot. Obviously, stemming from some interesting rumors and obviously some speculation and leaks, maybe. But yeah, it's very interesting. The C button. They finally fully revealed it during when Nintendo today launched, and it showed quite a few images of the Nintendo Switch fully. Also, I forgot to say, because it also appeared on Stealths, but yes, they are also having join us on April 3rd and April 4th at 7 a.m. PT each day for a Nintendo Treehouse Live Nintendo Switch 2 presentation featuring hands-on gameplay of Nintendo Switch 2 games. So yeah, they're going to be having games, they're going to be in their hands, they're going to be playing, and it's going to be available April 3rd and April 4th that they're going to be having at the Treehouse. Obviously, we know the experience is lasting from 4th to the 6th, so that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Unfortunately, I did not get any passes to it. I wish I did. And even if I did, I probably would have to miss out on it anyways because I have my new job starting, which is unfortunate. But yeah, they're going to likely be showing off the demos of the games are coming out for the Nintendo Switch 2 throughout its launch and launch year. And yeah, I'd imagine that these games that they're playing are also going to be playable at the Nintendo Switch 2 experience. But yeah, as we can see, there is a rumor that the dock has been leaked as well, and it basically can output 4K, and we also have gotten leaks that the Pro controller has also been leaked because of an FCC filing. Although I don't have the exact thing quite around here, but yeah, the Switch 2 does have its stock. Oh, here's the full image. As you can see, I'm going to show as much of it as I can. Yeah, it's got the whole Switch 2 family register. Not register, no family, but you know, the how it looks, whether it's undocked, whether it's in handheld mode, when it's docked in with the Joy-Con controller and whatnot. But yeah, pretty interesting, nonetheless. And yeah, so we know that the direct is tomorrow. I'm going to be there at Nintendo and Wine. We know that the Treehouse is also happening, and we also know that the experience is happening, but I'm not going to be there. And yeah, as for other leaks and rumors revolving around the Nintendo Switch, unfortunately there isn't any, which is unfortunate. Now you may be wondering how come. Well, I feel like it's also today being April Fools, it's going to be really hard to decipher what's a legitimate leak and what's not. But then again, you might have people like Pioro or Nate the Hate, etc., potentially revealing something a bit early. But yeah, there hasn't been any game leaks, like really strong game leaks. Obviously, the biggest rumor is that there's a new 3D Mario, and obviously they're going to show Mario Kart, that kind of stuff. They're going to show Metroid Prime 4 potentially again, showing that it's going to have both a Switch 1 and Switch 2 edition, etc. But yeah, nothing really like huge or like, oh, there's going to be a new Fire Emblem, or oh, Monolith Soft is going to present a new project they're working on, that kind of stuff. They're like something that we haven't heard or isn't too on the nose guessable. But anyways, now that we have that out of the way, let us begin with our Nintendo Direct, Switch 2 Direct predictions. As you guys can see here, we have our whole bingo board here. And these are my predictions. Now, obviously, I had a few other predictions that necessarily didn't make it. I think there might be some Mii Maker stuff, some Mii's somewhere in the Direct. I feel like Nintendo, after realizing with Miitopia and Tamagotchi Life now making a return, I feel like Mii's are not going to go anywhere. So I was feeling like Mii's are also going to return. They're going to have like a revamped Mii Maker, kind of make it more like Miitopia, or even their new one that they're having in Tamagotchi Life, you know, new hairstyles and whatnot. Make it even better than before. Now, let's go one by one from top to bottom, how I see this Direct going. And I'm going to start off with the top left. And I think that the new Mario Kart is not going to be called Mario Kart 9. Yeah, I think that the new Mario Kart, while some people believe it's called Mario Kart, will be called Mario Kart 9. I am a firm believer that Nintendo is the one that is usually on top of how their stuff is ordered and what's their entry for the series. And they did put Mario Kart Tour in the mainline Mario Karts, while Mario Kart Live Circuit, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit was not put in that lineup. And yeah, I think Mario Kart Tour is technically Mario Kart 9. And I think this will be called like Mario Kart 10 or Mario Kart X or some Mario Kart with some kind of title rather than a Mario Kart 9. But yeah, it was pretty obvious, but I kind of want to put something there that felt like, yeah, it's going to be shown, but I think it's going to be called this and not this. Now, obviously, it could be called Mario Kart 9, but I'm just not feeling it. I also just kind of want all the Mario Kart 9 people that were like, Mario Kart 9 revealed, Mario Kart 9, to be like, ooh, it's not called Mario Kart 9. I don't know, just me being a little mean spirited in a way. I don't know, not really mean spirited, but you know what I mean. I just kind of want to feel like I'm the one who's right. Anyways, next up, I kind of was iffy about this. I kind of wanted to be 50-50 on whether or not it would show up, but I think Smash might be teased. I think. Now, I was also thinking on my bingo board that Smash is not going to be teased, because I think they'll try going for it to show up on the second year of the Switch, if anything, similar to the second year of the Switch 2, similar to how it popped up on the second year of the Switch 1. Now, can it potentially happen? Yes, because we had Super Smash Bros. Brawl announced in 2005, a year before the Wii came out, and its first trailer was revealed in E3 2006. where it was several months before the Wii had even come out. So, yeah, I think it's potentially possible. Now, is it likely? I don't think so, but at the same time, I feel like just putting it there, you may never know. You may never know. But I'm just going to put it there, maybe the slightest tease they'll have Smash. Next up, Switch upgrades. Now, if you're wondering what I mean by this, I think some games, because we've heard and seen in their code that there is a 60 FPS 4K code within some of these games, and also just some of these games in general have been rumored to have some sort of upgrade or visual and performance improvements when being played on the Switch 2. And yeah, as a few examples that you can see on here, like Breath of the Wild, there was a rumor that at Gamescom that there was a 4K 60 FPS, like much better running version of Breath of the Wild was shown. Xenoblade Chronicles X and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door are in their codes have 60 FPS and 4K modes. And as for Mario and Luigi Brothership, I just have it there because I feel like it's a game that kind of should have a Switch 2 upgrade, so that way its load times are quicker and maybe it looks somewhat better visually, because it does seem a little bit lacking visually in some cases. But yeah, I think that we are going to get some Switch upgrades, like showing what it does for some games. Like, obviously, there is backwards compatibility, but some of these games that are backwards compatible can be upgraded and are upgraded to play even better on the Switch 2. Anyways, next up, a new 3D Mario. I think, yeah, this one was pretty obvious, but sometimes you gotta have a little obvious one in there. I think we're gonna get a new 3D Mario. I think it's gonna be a big holiday title for Nintendo, similar to Odyssey. Obviously, they're gonna probably have Mario Kart as the launch title. Have a big multiplayer game that is basically the sequel to the best-selling Nintendo game of all time at this point. Actually, is Mario Kart 8 now the best-selling game? Like, Nintendo game? I don't know. But yeah, you're basically your best-selling Mario Kart of all time. Make a sequel to it, and it's on launch. It's ready for people to play. But yeah, I think the 3D Mario is definitely like an October, November release. Perfect time for the holidays. Perfect time to, be nominated for Game of the Year, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm expecting a new 3D Mario. As for what I think it could revolve around, I don't think it's going to be a sequel to Odyssey or Galaxy or Sunshine or even 64. I think it's going to be a sort of bigger version of Bowser's Fury with potentially a new gimmick I could see. But I could also see it being more like Bowser's Fury, but except with bigger worlds, and you could go to different bigger worlds to collect, have like a free open world-esque game. But like you have to go to these different areas. But yeah, I think that might be how it goes. Again, it's really up in the air. Next up, a sequel to ARMS. I think it's potentially possible. Knowing it sold well at its first year, maybe Nintendo might want to try it again, especially with the new Joy-Cons. Maybe with how it is, especially because that the Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller, from what it's rumored by the FCC filing, have a better gyro. So potentially it could make moving your arms around way better and way smoother than what was in the original. And potentially they could have some more modes, kind of make a straight up upgrade to the first game in a lot of ways. Anyways, and we're going to follow up with yet another sequel, and that is we're going to be getting a Ring Fit Adventure sequel as well. Now, I think Ring Fit feels like it should be one of the games that should get a sequel on the Switch 2, especially since it was a pretty big hit. I think it's the 10th best-selling Switch game. Obviously, with the magnetic Joy-Cons, I feel like you could have way more accessories. Aside from the Ring Con, I feel like it could be really cool to have a Ring Fit Adventure with multiple different accessories because of the magnetic Joy-Cons and whatnot. Maybe the rail, like the like it being able to slide like a mouse, could show how far you're reaching and whatnot. That kind of stuff. I think that would be pretty cool. Plus, I've been craving for a new Ring Fit. I really want to start getting back into a workout grind. So, yeah, I think Ring Fit would be a great way to kind of also bring in that little casual audience, people who liked Ring Fit in. Now, next up, Fire Emblem. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit hard to see. Might have to zoom in a little, but yeah, I think Fire Emblem is going to appear on the Nintendo Direct. I think I'm also comparing this similar to the Nintendo Switch 1 Direct, where Warriors was shown. Now, I don't know if Warriors will be shown, if there's going to be a third Warriors game. But I think Fire Emblem is definitely going to show up in some sort of capacity, whether it's going to be with the Genealogy the Holy War remake, some sort of spin off, some sort of new game entirely because it's the 35th anniversary. I mean, this month literally is the 35th anniversary for Fire Emblem. So, yeah, I'm definitely expecting something Fire Emblem here, something huge for it. Whether it's a new game, a remake of Genealogy, or an entirely new spin-off. Maybe it's a Warriors game where every like body comes back. Like it's not even just Fate's Awakening and Shadow Dragon. It's every single game's main lead, from Shadow Dragon to Path of Radiance to uh, Shadows of Valentia to Sacred Stones to Engage to Three Houses. It's going to be everybody. So I think it might be that. Also, Heroes. Heroes is there too. Why not? Because, I'm a firm believer that Heroes is canon, and Heroes is basically a mainline game just on a mobile device. But yeah, it could be a multitude of things, but I think Fire Emblem is definitely showing up one way or another. Next up, the Pro Controller. Yeah, it was leaked, but I think we're finally going to see it here. Uh, how it looks, how it differs from the original Pro Controller, and its improvements and functionality. I think we're finally going to see what this Pro Controller looks like. I'm kind of hoping it looks pretty sleek, just like the Switch 2, and it's got some really good improvements, because sometimes it feels like it also suffers a bit similar to like its joystick in a way. I really hope it has that magnetic joystick similar to the Joy-Cons, but yeah, that's just me. Oh boy, we kind of predicted this one in the last direct, but I was wrong. But I think the iron is more hot than ever. I think Nintendo has to strike this hot iron now. I think there's going to be a new Mario Baseball game. I said this last time. Nintendo announced that the Mariners are their home jerseys have the Nintendo logo on it, and their away jerseys have the Switch 2 logo on it. The Mariners go from stadium to stadium, ballpark to ballpark, state to state. Basically advertising Nintendo Switch 2. Well, you may be like, I don't care for the Mariners, but you know what? That they're repping the Switch 2. I'm gonna buy a Switch 2 since I'm at this game. I'm gonna go buy it for my kid. Like my kid's gonna be like, look, Dad, or look, Mom, they have the Nintendo Switch 2 on their jerseys. Can we go buy that system? That kind of stuff. And I feel like with all these Japanese companies and Fortnite even collabing with the MLB, I think now is the time for Mario Baseball to return, especially with how big baseball has basically rose back up. It was not that popular several years ago, and now its popularity is way bigger than ever. And especially in America and Japan, I feel like now is the right time to strike that iron hot, make a new Mario Baseball game, advertise it, have the MLB uh, kind of like even have it like featured, like, look, new Mario Baseball game for anybody interested. I feel like that'd be a great way. Have a Mario X MLB crossover kind of thing. We already see it with Demon Slayer. We're already seeing it with Pokemon Go. We're already seeing it with a whole lot of other stuff that's going on. So I think Mario needs that time to strike. I think now is the right time. We're going to get a new Mario Baseball game. I think usually Mario sports games come out at a launch year or a little bit over the launch year. I think now is the perfect time. Next up, I think we're going to be getting something to really hook in previous Switch owners, and that is that the NSO for the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to include GameCube games. There was an FCC filing for a new controller that wasn't the Pro Controller, and it's very similar to a GameCube controller, except this GameCube controller is Bluetooth, so you could play it wired or wirelessly. Uh, and it's officially by Nintendo. So, yeah, a lot of people are theorizing that the Switch 2 is going to be having a GameCube NSO basically on its first year to really hook in people that really want to upgrade and be like, hey, look, the Switch 2 has exclusive GameCube NSO. It keeps all the NSO from Switch 1 while also having the GameCube one exclusive to it. So it'll really hype up a lot of people who really wanted GameCube games that weren't remade, like, for example, Thousand Year Door or Wind Waker HD, for example. Those games, since they already had their remakes, some people would be like, I want Path of Radiance, and boom, or Pokemon Coliseum, boom, or Luigi's Mansion, since it's not on the 3D, since, let's say nobody really got on the 3DS, they wanted it on the Switch, boom, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think GameCube is very, very possible. Next up, a more sort of the system itself. I think we are going to be seeing better themes, better UI and better eShop. I think a lot of those things are what a lot of people were complaining about. We only have two themes, black and white, so bare bone. We need a whole lot of diversity, a whole lot of different characters and colors and whatnot. Music as well. The UI also needs to be more of an upgrade, a lot more lively. Uh, while the sounds are very like catchy, especially on the Switch, especially with all the clicks and snaps, I think it would be better to also have some music go along with it, and also just to look a bit more like beautiful and presentable. Like, except not, it's still very presentable. It just needs to be more dazzling. Next up, Elden Ring. I think this is going to be the big one, especially since it was a very talked about game. I think we're going to be getting Elden Ring on the Switch too. I think it's going to be one of the few third party games being shown. That's going to be like a big highlight. Like, hey, now you Nintendo fans who wanted to play Elden Ring, guess what? It's on the Switch too. It's huge. You could play it on the go too. That kind of stuff. And everybody's going to go insane, especially how well talked Elden Ring is and how many expansions and sequels that's going to have. I think a lot of people are going to be hyped up about it. I think that's a big third party thing to show in this direct. Now, obviously, there's a free space in the middle, but I think we're going to go right through and say, yes, I think this system is going to come out in June, very similar to the Switch 1 after 2 months of its presentation, from which we got in January. It came out in March of that same year, so 2 months later. Now, with the Switch 2, we're getting it presented tomorrow, April 2nd, so I think we're going to be getting a June release since it's 2 months later, May, June. So, yeah, we're going to be getting a summer release. I don't know what date, but I'm just going to specifically say it's June. I know some people are thinking it's going to come in the fall, but I feel like that's way too late and way too long of a time, especially since people have will already get their hands on demos of the games through the Nintendo Switch 2 experience. I feel like just giving a demo and then having them wait, another whole 6 months, like 5-6 months, is just going to be way too long. I think June is the perfect sweet spot for it. Next up, more Prime 4. I think we're getting another Prime 4 trailer. This time it's going to show that, hey, there's going to be a Switch 1 edition and a Switch 2 edition. It's going to have a dual release. I think Prime 4 is going to be the perfect game to show this off on. So yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to get any new footage exactly. Maybe some new footage, but it still will count. Either way. Next up, we go down another row and we get to Monolith Soft. I think Monolith Soft is going to tease some kind of project. I know we just got the Xenoblade Chronicles X remaster, or definitive edition, and yeah, obviously that is a thing, and it just came out this year, and it would be like, whoa, that's way too soon for Monolith Soft to release something. But then you remember that Monolith Soft has greatly expanded its team. It already had all the assets from both Xenoblade Chronicles X and from all the newer games to help upgrade it in multitude of ways. So I think maybe they'll tease it to us very similar to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for that matter. We could see it next year or in 2 years from now. We don't know how long they were working on this thing, but it can't even be Xenoblade. It could just be an entirely new game as well. It could be an entirely separate game. But yeah, I think Monolith Soft is going to show up in some sort of way. Next up, a new IP. I think we're going to be getting a new IP. We did get new IPs for the Switch 1, so I think Nintendo wants to have some bright new faces for the Switch 2 era. I think it makes a lot of sense. Switch 1 had ARMS, it had a few other games, it also had like Splatoon getting its sequel as well. The game that was on the Wii U, and now it's the flagship of the Switch era in a way. Like, it grew from the Wii and it spread its wing. Not the Wii. It grew from the Wii U and it spread its wings on the Switch. So I think there's going to be some sort of new IP here. Next up, another third-party thing. I think Atlus is going to be in this one again. I think they're either going to have either Metaphor. I had the same exact image as well on my previous one. I'm using it again. I think they're going to give us either Persona 3 Reload or Metaphor ReFantazio on the Nintendo Switch 2. It's going to be big. Obviously, both of these games were pretty talked about, especially Metaphor last year in 2024. I think this will be a huge game to have on the Switch, especially Switch 2, because a lot of Switch owners are huge JRPG fans. So I think this would make a whole lot of sense to finally have Nintendo fans get their hands on some of Atlus's big RPGs. And especially since now they've caught up in the power department, I don't think they're going to be left behind in terms of any future Square, Atlus, any other big, massive RPGs. I don't think they're going to be left behind anymore. Next up, we're going to be getting the new application that's going to be coming out of the C button. We did show earlier that the C button has this interesting sound effect. I think we're going to be getting some kind of communication because it was also leaked that the code name for this Nintendo application, this communication application, is called Campus, which is pretty interesting. They kind of really want gamers to really use it as like an app of sorts and talk and play with each other. It makes a lot of sense. Kind of like a spiritual successor to Miiverse. So I think that's what that C button is for. I don't think it's for any other thing. I don't think it's for camera. I don't think it's for anything else. I think it's for communication and for the app of Campus. Next up, Camelot. Now, I did say that I think Mario Baseball would be the perfect launch year Mario sports game, and we haven't had it for a while, but I could also see Camelot making it instead with a new Mario Tennis or Mario Golf game being shown off. Obviously, we could also get a Golden Sun game since, it's been rumored for a while, and I did try predicting it for my last Direct, but unfortunately it did not come true, but it's still the chance, and I do want something a little bit out there, even if it's pretty low. But I think Camelot may have a small chance, but again, want to have something a little bit out there as well. But next up on the bottom left, I feel like this one is pretty noteworthy. I think this one is very possible, and that is a tech demo for a tech demo like launch game. So kind of like 1-2 Switch, where it'll show off the multiple different capacities that the Switch 2 is capable of, whether it's graphics or the new Joy-Cons, etc., new functionality and new ways to play. I feel like there will be some sort of game that it was made by Nintendo, but it's kind of small, but it's kind of like a perfect launch game, tech demo of sorts. Again, like 1-2 Switch. All right, next up, I've been saying next up a lot, but we got the games using the mouse functionality. So yeah, I think we're going to get a game specifically shown off that's going to be using it. Obviously, it could also be the tech demo, but it could also be an entirely new game as well. It could just be a new IP or even a new game from a series that we already know about, like Mario or something. That'd be like, hey, here's the mouse in this new Mario game. Here's how you use it. But yeah, I think the mouse is going to play a huge role into this, and maybe it'll even show off on a first-person shooter, for example, like, hey, you could also use it kind of like a mouse from a computer and use it for your shooting games. Next up, I think we're going to get Animal Crossing. It's been 5 years since Animal Crossing New Horizons, and the game wasn't given its promised 2 years of support. It was given 1.5 years. And it feels a lot of Animal Crossing fans feel let down, especially because a lot of stuff was left out of New Horizons. A lot of furniture, a lot of clothes, a lot of events, potentially. It felt like it wasn't enough, especially because the NPCs were very lackluster. Even though the update did try fixing it, I think it wasn't just enough to really hook everybody back in. But I feel like a new Animal Crossing would reel in everybody back in. You see what I did there? Reel? Because, fishing rod. Ugh. Anyways, but yeah, I feel like it's now the perfect time to reveal an Animal Crossing, whether it's going to be revealed a little bit early or if it's going to actually come out this year, or even a little bit earlier into next year for, if it comes out right before the Switch 2's first anniversary. I could see that. It could also be the perfect summer game, too, for all I know, for next year, right before the Switch 2's first anniversary. All right, now the cost of the system, I think it's going to cost $400. I could be wrong, could be $450, could be $500. But I feel like $400 is the perfect sweet spot for it. I feel like, especially since Nintendo said we are looking out for our customers and seeing how the economy is, some of them might not be able to afford it, so they kind of want that nice middle ground. I think $400 is perfect, especially because you're getting a PS4 level system, like PS4 Pro level system, and an like Xbox Series S level system. It's not too powerful. It's also a handheld, so yeah, I don't think it's gonna be as expensive as a Steam Deck, or about the same as a Steam Deck. So about $400 does sound like the right amount to me. I don't think it's going to be any cheaper, and I don't know if the Switch 1 is going to get a price drop because of it, but who knows. But I think it's going to cost $400. Again, I could be wrong. It could be up $50. It could be up $100. Finally, I think we're going to get something Zelda. Now, again, I don't think it's going to be anything like a entirely new 3D game announced or a teaser for a new, 3D Zelda. I think we're going to get one of the few things I mentioned before, whether it's in the last Direct, where I think we're going to get HD ports of Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD, or we're going to be getting that Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom upgrade from Switch 1 to Switch 2, where they're performing way better and they're looking even better than before. We could get anything from Zelda, even a spin-off, for all we know. But yeah, that is all of my predictions. Let me know down below what you guys think, and let me know what your guys' predictions are for tomorrow's Nintendo Direct for the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm really excited, and again, check out my Twitch channel down below. I will be live streaming it. I'm going to be waking up super early for it and getting on the bus and hopefully making it to the city this time in time, because last time it was running late and because I took the wrong route to get to the bus. So yeah, this time I'm heading there early. I already know what to do. So yeah, love my videos, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe to my channel, appreciate it, and we will see you all for the Nintendo Switch 2 presentation. Peace.